On a summer afternoon in 216 BC, 50,000 Roman soldiers were surrounded on an open field in southern Italy. Packed together so tightly they could no longer lift their swords, they were slaughtered where they stood. It was the single worst day in the entire history of Rome. By nightfall, the greatest army the Republic had ever raised had simply ceased to exist. One man had done this. His name was Hannibal, and Rome would spend the next 14 years hunting him to the very edge of the known world. This is the story of how Rome rose from its darkest hour and destroyed the man who almost ended it. To understand Cannae, you have to go back. Across the sea stood Carthage, Rome's greatest rival, and in Carthage was born a boy who swore at his father's altar to be Rome's enemy until death. His name was Hannibal Barca, and he would become the most feared general the ancient world had ever known. In 218 BC, he did something almost no one believed was possible. He led an army of tens of thousands, cavalry, infantry, and war elephants out of Spain. He crossed wild rivers, fought hostile tribes, and climbed into the freezing passes of the Alps. Thousands died in the snow and ice. But Hannibal did not stop, and when he descended into Italy, he fell upon the Romans like a storm they never saw coming. The Romans marched out to crush this invader. They did not understand who they were facing. At the river Trebia, Hannibal lured them across the freezing water at dawn, cold, hungry, exhausted. Then his men, hidden in the reeds, rose up and struck the legions from behind. Trapped against the river, the Roman army was torn apart. And this was only the beginning. A year later, at Lake Trasimene, Hannibal did something even more cunning. He hid his entire army in the hills along a narrow shore, cloaked in thick morning fog. The Romans marched into the pass completely blind. When the trap closed, the hills erupted and the legions were driven into the lake. 15,000 men died between the mountains and the water. Their commander fell among them. Rome was gripped by terror, and in its fear, it turned to one man, Fabius. Fabius did something Romans found almost unforgivable. He refused to fight. He shadowed Hannibal across Italy, burned the fields before him, and cut off his supplies. But he never gave Hannibal the open battle he so desperately wanted. Rome despised him for it. They mocked him as a coward, the delayer. But Fabius understood what no one else would admit. Against Hannibal, the only way to win was to refuse to lose. Rome grew impatient. It wanted glory now. So it cast Fabius aside and raised the largest army in its history. In 216 BC, near a town called Cannae, almost 80,000 Romans assembled to end the war in a single day. Across the field, Hannibal waited with a force barely half their size. The Romans trusted their overwhelming numbers. They massed in the center and drove straight ahead. But Hannibal had built a trap out of his own army. He placed his weakest troops in the center and his deadliest veterans on the wings. As the Romans pushed forward, his center bent backward, slowly, deliberately, but never broke. The legions poured deeper into the curve, certain they were winning. Then Hannibal's cavalry shattered the Roman horsemen and swept around behind them. His veterans on the wings turned inward, and the trap slammed shut. In an instant, the largest army in Roman history was surrounded on every side. Crushed together, unable even to raise their weapons, they were butchered where they stood. There was no escape. Hour after hour, the slaughter went on. Tens of thousands of Romans died in a single afternoon. A consul lay among the dead. When the dust finally settled, the field belonged entirely to Hannibal, and Rome stood one single step away from total annihilation. The news reached Rome, and the city collapsed into panic and grief. Almost every family had lost a father, a son, or a brother at Cannae. Any other nation in that moment would have surrendered. Carthage offered terms, but Rome did something the ancient world had never seen. It refused. It refused to ransom its own captured soldiers. It refused to even hear talk of peace. Rome decided it would rather burn to the ground than ever kneel to Hannibal, and quietly the city remembered the old man it had mocked. Fabius had been right. Rome returned to his strategy: patience, attrition, slowly strangling a lion it could not beat head on. It raised new legions from boys too young to shave and from slaves promised their freedom. For years, Rome bled Hannibal, denying him the decisive victory he needed. And from the ashes of Cannae, one survivor rose. A young officer named Scipio. He had stood on that field as the army died around him, and somehow he had lived. He had buried an entire generation in that bloody dust, and he never forgot it. While Rome wept, Scipio studied. He learned Hannibal's every trick, every trap, every lie. He became the one Roman who could finally think like the enemy. And he carried a plan no one before him had dared to speak aloud. Do not chase Hannibal through Italy. Strike Carthage itself and force the lion to race home. 202 BC, North Africa. A dusty plain called Zama. For the first time in 16 years, Hannibal faced a Roman who had truly studied him. Hannibal still had his war elephants, the terror of every battlefield, but Scipio was ready. As the elephants charged, he opened wide lanes in his ranks. The great beasts thundered harmlessly through the gaps and into nothing. Then the Roman line surged forward with everything Rome had left. And at last, Hannibal's army broke. The man who had brought Rome to its knees fled the field a beaten general. Carthage surrendered. The 50,000 who fell at Cannae were finally avenged. Hannibal lived on in exile, hunted by Rome for the rest of his life. And years later, cornered with nowhere left to run, he chose poison over a Roman chain. Rome had stood one step from extinction and chose not to kneel. The republic that almost died at Cannae would go on to rule the entire world.